Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. South Korea's 3,000-ton class submarine, the Dosan On Chang-ho, has successfully completed the country's first independent trans-Pacific voyage. According to UPI, the submarine arrived at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam on Saturday after departing Jinhae Naval Base on March 25. This deployment is a crucial demonstration of South Korea's long-range operational capability, particularly as it seeks to secure a substantial Canadian defense contract estimated at $44 billion to replace Canada's aging submarine fleet. The vessel, which is the lead ship of South Korea's KSS-3 Batch I program and commissioned in 2021, will continue to Esquimalt, British Columbia, for joint exercises with the Canadian Navy, followed by participation in the multinational RIMPAC drills. Its extensive use of air-independent propulsion (AIP) technology, enabling prolonged submerged operations, and its vertical launch systems capable of deploying submarine-launched ballistic missiles, highlight its strategic significance. This mission underscores South Korea's ambition to transition from a coastal defense force to a blue-water navy. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim announced he is moving an urgent motion to halt the opening of a proposed overdose prevention site, at 900 Helmkin Street. The mayor intends to direct city staff to utilize all available tools, including permitting and licensing, to prevent its establishment until a more comprehensive plan is in place. Sim emphasized concerns from residents and businesses regarding public safety, noting that previous OPS sites at 1100 Seymour and the 680 Howe Street reportedly led to increased disorder and a near tripling of police calls. Jane Talbot of the downtown Vancouver BIA echoed these concerns, citing recent increases in open drug use and requests for safe walk services despite existing OPS. However, Vancouver Coastal Health (VCH) and harm reduction expert Guy Felicella are pushing back. Dr. Patricia Daly of VCH highlighted the 94 lives lost to toxic drugs last year and stated that VCH is provincially mandated to establish such sites where need is high. Felicella underscored that the Helmkin site is a relocation of an existing service to an area with the city's second highest overdose rates. He argued that OPS are evidence-based, save lives, and provide crucial connections to recovery supports, ultimately reducing public consumption and improving safety, particularly with the upcoming FIFA event. This report comes from City News Everywhere. CTV News reports that drivers on Vancouver Island are facing continued increases in gas prices, which recently jumped by nearly 15 cents to 226.9 cents per liter. Residents, like Sook's Lloyd Gilmore, are already adjusting their driving habits due to the rising costs. Dan McTeague, president of Canadians for Affordable Energy, attributes the surge to the ongoing war in Iran and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical passageway for 20% of the world's oil. While a temporary drop of 7 cents per liter is anticipated on Thursday as some commercial ships pass through the strait under U.S. protection, McTeague believes this impact is being overestimated. He predicts that fuel prices will escalate by 5 to 10 cents per liter each week for the foreseeable future, emphasizing that global emergency oil reserves are depleted and demand currently outstrips supply. McTeague highlights the severity of this situation, especially with diesel prices having risen nearly 40% since the conflict began, underscoring its broad impact on the transportation of essential goods and services. In a decision published this week, the BC Supreme Court rejected a bid by several Vancouver property owners to strike down the city's empty homes tax, EHT, reports CTV News. The tax, implemented in 2016, aims to increase rental housing supply by taxing properties left vacant. Petitioner Lee, Lucy, Dan, who bought vacant land for $3.5 million, faced a $113,000 tax bill in 2022 due to construction cost surges. Another petitioner, Danis McLeod, a musician, called the tax a continuous nightmare as it forces her to have acquaintances live in her Vancouver home to avoid the tax, causing significant stress. Christopher Britton, a retiree, was forced to rent out his frequently used second home after incurring the tax. The petitioners argued the city failed to hold a public hearing, applied the bylaw unreasonably to vacant land in second homes, and violated charter rights, Sections 7 and 8. Justice Palbinder Kaur Shergill ruled that the EHT is a tax, not a zoning bylaw, and thus a public hearing was not required. She found the council's rationale for including vacant land in second homes to be transparent, intelligible, and justified. The charter arguments were also dismissed, with Section 7 found to relate to economic interest rather than liberty, and Section 8 deemed premature as no actual search or seizure had occurred. Prakash Lekhraj, a BC man found guilty of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl and creating child pornography, has had his convictions overturned by the BC Court of Appeal, CTV News reports. The appeal court ordered a new trial, citing a significant legal error by the original trial judge. The judge had characterized Lekhraj as a person of bad moral fiber and a misogynistic braggart, which the appeal court deemed impermissible propensity reasoning. This means the judge used Lekhraj's general character and other discreditable conduct, unrelated to the specific charges, to assess his credibility, rather than focusing strictly on the evidence of the alleged offenses. The case hinged on the issue of consent for the sexual assault and Lekhraj's knowledge of the teen's age for the child pornography charge. While Lekhraj admitted to the sexual activity and taking a photo, he claimed the teen was an enthusiastic participant. His messages to friends, including, "Took it like a champ," were used as evidence by the Crown, but the appeal court found the initial assessment of his credibility fundamentally flawed. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.